I don't even know how to set this up anymore because we've changed. I've been on so many calls and I don't know. I guess just start at the beginning. Me and Kaman, right? Correct? I said your name right? Is
Yes,
that okay?
yes,
We're getting
yes.
better there.
Yay!
Me.
Christmas present for me.
You're welcome, and that's all you're getting for Christmas.
Thanks.
Me and Kaman have been doing research. He was interested in the way that I was doing research as a idea and how I was able to do research to provide for all the different businesses that we were doing. Right now, it's pretty much POD, but in the past, we were doing wholesale, OA, RA, private label. The way that we've done the research has not changed. Just our ability to refine the POD process has made us lean into that more, and it's a better fit for me and Athena. I wanted to help Kaman with the research. I think my biggest struggle in teaching people research is I'm a little all over the place. Me and Kaman are friends. He feels comfortable with telling me this doesn't make sense. I don't understand. Slow down. Say this over. Clarify this. That helps me realize like, oh, I'm making these connections and I'm jumping from A to B too rapidly. I need to show kind of a process to do this, or just explain that I don't have a process for it. This is why I think this way, and let's figure out a way if this can be turned into a process to help more people. I want to turn this into a series like how I'm helping my mother, because I see a lot of people getting a lot out of that and getting a lot of good feedback from that. I was going to just put those other calls up on YouTube, but I think now it is too much information. It's too all over the place. My new idea is to go back to what I feel made the light bulbs go off for me, which was merch. Kaman has a merch account. You can share the information. You can not share the information. It does not matter to me. The idea for this call is to do research in a way to allow Kaman to take action on that research instead of just explaining my mental state and process and let you figure it out. We had the calls were really good, and then we were doing a lot of messaging back and forth to clarify a lot of things. And I was just like, it's going to be lost in transition when we go from, we talk this week, we talk next week, and the people that we're speaking to are missing out all of our additional conversations that we have throughout the week. So I was just like, how can we turn this into like, here's the goal, and I'm going to help you reach this goal. And then I think more people will be able to get information out of this process. So we go, okay, the goal is 25, the goal is 10, the goal is 100. I think you will be able to determine, like, I can do this amount of listings in a week, test it out, and then in 2 or 3 weeks, go back to this. And then me and you can do research to figure out, do we hit the mark? Do we miss the mark? Did we assume something and tested it incorrectly? We just need to reposition it. Or do we just completely miss the boat and we need to just move on? Or is it something that's really working and we need to double down? And then I can explain doubling down from a way that people understand where it started and then the process of what I'm doing. So far, so good?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
So because we're coming up on Christmas, these videos, I don't know how I'm going to release them, but I'm assuming next year for sure. I want to focus in on finding a niche and then cross-mixing it with Christmas, because I think there's an opportunity now to take advantage of the market. So I don't have a starting place. My idea was to just do cat, because then I could at least explain from a 10,000 foot view what I'm attempting to do. And then we can go find other niches and then try to do these steps with them. As I was going through cat, we were going to start picking up Christmas keywords so that it makes it easier for people to follow, to go, I don't understand keywords. I don't know how to do that. Oh, I see that you're going after Christmas. You're just scraping Amazon essentially without having to use other tools. The other tools I think help, but if you don't have a basic understanding of what you're doing, the tools are only going to more confuse you. I see a lot of people paying for tools and still need to know how to help with keywords. I think it's the tools are only pulling information from Amazon or other sites. It's not like the tools are magic and they see the word that you put in and assume what you're talking about. Okay, so we'll do cat shirt just as a starting point.
Okay.
If this is a niche, and I'm going to interchange niche and customer base, because to me, they mean very similar things. And I think people have a understanding of a niche, but then when I say customer base, I think it just throws people off. So I'm going to start by saying niche. If I say customer base as we move forward, just know that they are, to me, are very similar things. And as we do this training, I'll be able to better clarify where I'm using one and the other. And me, I really like to think about the customer moving forward in anything that I do. It just makes my job easier to gathering keywords. But we're going to start here. If cat is the thing that I'm going to start with, and shirts are the product that I'm going to sell, to me, the keywords are cat because that identifies the niche, and then shirt because it identifies the product. This might not mean too much right now because we're really focused on merch and they really only have a few products, and shirts like the biggest one. But as we move forward and you do more research, and especially if you're going to take this and do ONRA, the product keyword can be changed out to give you more results and a better understanding of the customer base. So
pretty much you're picking the customer base root word and then the root product.
Seed keyword, we can say root keyword.
Or seed keyword, yeah.
Yes. So the seed keyword for the niche is cat. The seed keyword for the product is shirt. Together, they're a keyword phrase. I'm searching that keyword phrase on Amazon so that I can leverage Amazon to have them show me if a customer types this in, what would they be looking for? Because Amazon is doing a lot of things behind the scenes to make sure that these products show up in front of the customers that are typing in this keyword phrase.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I put all that in. What I'm looking for is the amount of results. Mm-hmm. We talked about this more in depth in another call, but I just want to bring it up right here. Amazon is not telling the full truth. I'll say it like that. Because I think last time I said, they're lying to you, and I went on a rant, but they're not telling you the truth. And it's not, I don't know if they're doing it maliciously, but it's just a fact of what is going on. So as we've developed these 5-step tests, and we call it the validation step, we call it the WingMan 5-step test, they're just guidelines. When we have the actual numbers attached to it, which I'm trying to get away from, just know that we were trying to help people speed up their validation process, not the initial research that you're doing. So I'm looking at 50,000. Even though I know Amazon is not telling a full truth, it's still too many other products that I want to go against. And if a customer only types in cat and shirt, the likelihood of my product showing up here is extremely low. So
I mean, just to elaborate for people who haven't listened before, lying to us and telling us the whole truth means that there are more products for this keyword that it's indexed, but Amazon's not showing it to us. That's what not telling us the truth means.
Yeah, because I went 3 pages deep, and all of a sudden now there's double the amount of products. Mm-hmm. So when you said 50, what did you mean? And you can't go past 7 pages a lot of the time. And then at 7, they will tell you, well, here's a little trick if you do like this. I think it's here or in the middle. I haven't done this in a while, so bear with me for a second. So we're on page 7, and we can only see 360 of the over 100,000. So even if you feel like, hey, there's 50,000 other competitors, I still want to compete here, there's really only 300 options that the customer is even going to see. So if I'm a customer, and even if I go to page 7, which most Amazon customers will not, the thing that they're going to do next is go back up to the search bar. And those keywords where they go back up to the search bar, those are the keywords that I'm really looking for. Now, there are strategies and tactics where you can hit space and hit the different letters, and they can auto-suggest things. This used to work like gangbusters back in the day because they would actually auto-suggest all kinds of things. Again, Amazon is not lying to us, but they are being very withholding. I'll say that. So if I say Christmas and then tree, you can see the more words that I put in, they're auto-suggesting more. But why, when I take away tree, does it not suggest cat, Christmas, and then the additional word tree? You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Those additional words used to populate very frequently. So even if I was at cat, shirt, Christmas, 7 more options would come up. That's not the case anymore. But if I do type more letters in, they will start to auto-suggest. But you kind of have to already have some keywords in your back pocket to keep throwing at this search bar. So those keywords that you're putting in your back pocket, that's what I'm going to attempt to show you how to quickly gather those to just continue to test Amazon's search bar and see, is this good? Because we really don't want to sell cat shirts, but we might want to sell Christmas tree dabbing cat shirts. Does that make sense? Because now we're really avoiding a ton of competition. And we're getting to where I wanted to take us, which was starting with a cat and then mixing in Christmas to it. I've mixed in Christmas because that was the next word that I typed in. And I typed in tree because I have a list of Christmas words to throw at the Amazon search bar to get these types of results. And this is what I'd like to show people is like when you're making shirts or you're running out of ideas, this is something that you go, okay, customers are typing in Christmas tree dabbing cat shirt. What are they actually looking for? Is it a cat riding a Christmas tree dabbing? Is it standing next to? Is it standing on top of to actually make the tree? Like these are the options that we like to see so that we can test this market. Now, the fact that one of these has sold and it's not selling that much is a fact that it could just be customers are not really looking for this. And I don't know how do I want to explain this? What I'm assuming is happening inside merch is the Amazon search bar is getting bombarded by a lot of searches. Dabbing is just a very common word that possibly the tools that you're paying for that are doing keyword research are bombarding it. So it's creating this customer path, even though it's not really a customer path. Does that make sense? So you have to be aware of these false positives. The fact that it's auto-completed would normally tell me that customers are coming here. But because I understand the market and I understand that a lot of researchers like myself are bombarding Amazon, there is a false sense that customers are coming here. Why I think it's a false sense is because none of these are being sold. So that's why like the first thing is to look at the results, see if it auto-completed, look at the results, and then look at the page. Like, because this is just a quick qualifier. If this does or does not autocomplete now is not that big of a concern for us because we see that Amazon is, I'm going to say lying to us. They're lying to us. So I don't put much stock into this anymore because if they're trying to maliciously or just due to the fact of what is actually happening on their marketplace, it's not the full truth. But this also is not the full truth. So you have to take two half-truths, attempt to pull out understanding, but this is the truth. You can't hide if something is sold as that. So regardless if these two half-truths are telling you the truth, if customers are coming here, they should be buying. If they're not coming here, you don't really want to put a shirt here anyway.
Okay.
So knowing this information that there might be customers looking for cat diving shirts because one of these has sold, but not enough customers are searching for this. This is not really something that I want to pursue to test. But now that I found one that I don't want to test, how do I find areas that I do want to test? So we did this with cat. I just wanted to explain what we're doing as a overall idea. Now what I'm going to attempt to do is with you, think of niche ideas like cat and then do the same thing on Amazon, maybe a little bit more robust instead of just throwing one keyword at it, but throw additional keywords at it and see if we can't find somewhere like this that products are being sold that we want to test so that I can give you action steps when we hit this point to go, hey, all of these are selling. Let's now make a shirt like this where cat's riding a Christmas tree and dabbing. Let's make a shirt where he's standing next to it holding a candy cane. Let's make something like this. So that's 3 different shirts that we can test in this with your own style and design. You're not stealing this. You're not saying, hey, we're going to do this exact thing. But just like these two, they're not the same shirt. It's the same idea, but it's 2 different shirts. We're going to add another idea in here to see and give the customer an additional option so that we can serve them better. I know some people listen to this and go, oh, what you're saying is stealing. That's it. I'm not. If a cat is riding on a tree and dabbing, if you close your eyes and I said that to you, what's the image that comes into your mind? Test that. Don't test this idea because the customer might be thinking like you. They might not want this gray cat. They might want a photorealistic cat like this pizza cat shirt that's very creepy that I don't understand that sells like crazy. But that's what we're saying is take inspiration from, do your due diligence so you're not just shooting things out into the ether and you have no idea if customers are looking for that. Do your due diligence, look and see if you can figure out where customers are going and then provide them something that they might want to purchase and use these as guides. We say look at the page, look for the patterns. What are the patterns that you're seeing? That's all stuff that Nathaniel's much better at explaining, but I just want to stop and make that point before we really dig into this because I have a feeling and I hope after this call, it'll just be, hey, let's do some more research and we jump on a call and just get to it. But anybody that's lost at any point, they go, oh, I'm catching this 19th one. Where should I start? Start the first one. The first one leaves everything out as clear as I can and as slow as I can. We might make tweaks to it, but this I just want as a hub to send everybody back to.
Okay.
So let's go back to just Amazon. Putting myself in your shoes, if you were trying to make merch products, would you get to this point and have a customer idea? Or do you think you would just come here and be like, I'm completely stuck. I don't even know where to start?
I would be, well, for me, my thought process is, oh, okay, if cat doesn't work, like, if I did, the way I would think is that, okay, cat is just, so I'd either have to niche up or niche down, right? So
yeah, you're finding your Goldilocks zone, something that works for you where there's enough theoretical traffic to justify putting a shirt there and a level of competition that you feel you can compete against.
So, I mean, there's a few ways. So, like, if I niched up, I would either.
Well, I'm saying start from away from cat. Like, if you're just coming to this and you have no niche idea, would you be coming to this point with an idea, or should I just start with, like, if you have no idea? I think it might even be better just to start with no niche, and maybe gather the Christmas keywords.
I think you're going to have two types of people. You know, like you're going to have people who have no idea, or people who have some idea, right? So if you serve the people who have no idea, it kind of already
serve it all. Okay,
right.
So let's start with Christmas, and then I'll just start with Christmas and gathering Christmas keywords. So that way, when we do find the additional niche that we want to cross niche, we have places to start. So like tree, like the word Christmas, I could say a whole bunch of them, but I think just showing that process of how I gather those keywords without tools, because there are a lot of tools that can help you with this and maybe speed this process up, but I don't want people to lose the understanding of what these tools are doing, so that when you get that information, that list comes back when you use that tool and it's 2,000 keywords and you go, I don't know what to do with 2,000 keywords. This will at least give you an idea of like thinking a little bit about the customer and knowing what keywords you should be collecting.
Yeah, it's kind of like teaching someone addition before giving them a calculator, right?
All right, well, let's go back to Amazon. All I did was type in Christmas, and then I was typing in shirt. And to just drive this point home, I'm putting in shirt just to show this. Most of the time, you're going to want to type in t-shirt if the niche is so big, but you won't really know that until you've done enough research, but it's just going to speed up your process. So I've put in shirt, and then you can see that most of these are not merch shirts. Well, this is completely ads, but most of these are not merch shirts. So it's going to be difficult for me to not use tools to gather the keywords that I need. You can still open up these listings and look through them, but they won't be as beneficial as if you're just looking at a sole merch. Even though this one has some additional keywords in there. Jesus Christ, Santa, reindeer, eggnog. These are the keywords that we are looking for. I'm not going to pull them here because I want to show really going after merch shirts, how you can look at merch shirts and just gather keywords. And I'll stop here and ask, I shouldn't even ask, I shouldn't assume. This is a merch listing. How I know this is a merch listing is because we've been doing this for 2.5 years. So there's not like a great like tell I can tell you, but if they have a person in the image, that's not a merch shirt. If it has a stylized design, as far as all merch shirts have this same mock-up. It's a shirt with these wavy lines on it, and it's very like pressed down view. The more you do the research, you'll be able to see them and identify them very quickly. Another way is by clicking into the listing. The first few bullet points will always be the same. Sometimes they switch up this last one, but the last one should also be this. And you can look at this stylized chart. All merch shirts only have the single listing if it's a front design, 2 listings, or 2 pictures if they have a front and back, and they have this sizing chart. There are a few other things that you can look at, but those are the easiest ones to tell.
Would you ever include the bullet point in your search search in the search bar to isolate it?
Explain that again.
So click on that shirt again. So you know where it says light fit, lightweight, classic fit, double needle. Like that's a very specific thing to merch, correct?
Oh, you mean to only show merch designs?
Yes.
Yeah, you can do that. orchid is a in-house word that Amazon uses. So you can put in orchid, like the dolphin. Is it a whale?
It's a flower, orchid.
No,
Orca.
orca. Sorry. Um,
Sorry, I didn't want to detract you. I just thought that if you're trying to isolate merch shirts, that would be.
yeah, I don't normally want to isolate merch shirts, but I guess for doing keyword only research, you can do that. If you type in orca, that is another shortcut to only show the merch designs.
Interesting. I never knew that.
You do have to be cautious though, because for new people coming in, they're going to say, hey, this is a merch shirt. I can do that exact same design. And this is why I would say don't copy, understand what you're doing, because this says Disney and they're actually partnered up with Disney, and Disney has licensed merch shirts. So be careful, because you can't make a Mickey Mouse shirt. It's not possible. And when people ask us questions and say, oh, I saw Mickey Mouse on a shirt, it's like, well, who was the seller? Did it say Disney? Because that's who's selling it. It's because it's a merch listing doesn't mean that it's another person like you that got away with putting a Mickey Mouse on it, which we definitely don't do. Trademark check everything. But when you see this stuff, it doesn't mean that you get the green light on it. You still have to do your own research and due diligence and trademark search. Because if you try to put a design like this on a shirt, you will get your account taken away 1,000%. Now, I'm not going to touch on all that, but there are a lot of nuances happening here. But I just wanted to let you aware. Yes, you can do that. You can put in the fitment size and all the other small terminology that Amazon uses to only show merch shirts. But a quicker way of doing that is just by typing in orca. This might actually be a way that I teach this, is by showing orca and then just looking at the keywords that they use. This is semi-problematic because it's giving you a false understanding of the market, and it will show a lot of licensed stuff. So you just have to be hyper aware of what you're looking at. Because if we open this, there's not a lot of keywords here because the actual licensed products are handled differently than our products. So this has Nightwear Before Christmas, Jack shirts. They do a lot of behind the scenes indexing for these guys, because this is just like in-house coding that doesn't have to be on the listing, but they started putting it on the listing because I think Amazon sellers were looking at this and saying it's okay, and this was a way for them to say, hey, it's not, so don't. The problem with this is now other sellers are starting to do this to scare off competition. That's why I said there's a lot of nuanced things happening here. It's all that to say, when you're looking for keywords, using the word orchid might help you. You just have to be aware of the market and what's going on. So when you're clicking in these listings, but like this one will have keywords in it because it's not a trademarked, it's not a partnership deal with Amazon through licensing. It's an actual just shirt. This might be trademarked. Some of these keywords in here might be trademarked, but they might be going through the channels that we go through and just talk to Amazon and let them know that I own this right to do this and nobody else can. And it's legally protected through the USPTO website. Or trademark is not something I want to get into day one, but just know, be careful.
Sorry to derail you. Let's go back to the original way, because I think that's, I took you down the wrong path.
This for you is a really interesting shortcut, because you can speed up your time in doing what I'm going to show without using Orchid. You can just come in here and go, okay, these are all Disney. I don't want to go into those. Which are the ones that are not Disney? I think you can do even negative words on here too, but you can just open up these listings and then pull keywords out of there. But Christmas shirts, I was just trying to show that they're merch shirts and there's non-merch shirts. It gets a little difficult if you're trying to pull keywords by not looking at non-merch shirts, because the keywords that we really want to find are inside merch shirts because they cannot hide their keywords. Even though I told you that, and then I just showed you that they can. So let me just start over. So we edit here, I can show people. Okay, and I don't know if I should say most of the time, because it's like that information is so beyond what people really need to know that it's just like stating a fact. And then if people go, oh, well, actually, then I can go, yeah, I know that. Like, it doesn't matter. Going back to Amazon and just showing people Christmas.
Yes.
So I'll start by typing in Christmas. And if I misspell this stuff, please correct me, because that's not my strength. But Christmas shirt is what I'm looking for. As we look at this results page, again, we can see that there's 50,000 of these also. You'll see that's a common theme, that they just say 50,000 for anything that's over 50,000. then if you go deeper in the page, they'll say 100,000. What I'm really looking for are merch shirts, because merch shirts cannot hide keywords in their back end because of how the merch listings are created. How we can tell they're merch shirts is they have the same mock-up. The color might be different, but the mock-up itself is the same. So you will see shirts like this that have a stylized design, they're tied, or that has a person in it. These are not merch shirts. This, that like it looks flat and there's nothing else in the picture, these are merch shirts. I'm just gonna keep scrolling down and show you that if you're just searching shirt, it's gonna be hard to go through and pick out the merch shirts. As you get better, there are tells that you can look at to know that this is a merch shirt. One, they'll have this sizing guide. If they have two images, it might be front and back, but they won't have any lifestyle images. Lifestyle images is being a person in it or the shirt being up against a brick wall or something like that. Those are lifestyle pictures. It'll just be on a white background. Another thing to look at is the first 3 bullet points should all be the same and the last one. Sometimes these are switched around, but if you get to familiarize yourself with this terminology, you'll start to, as soon as you open up a listing, you'll say, oh, solid colors, 100% cotton. That's a merch shirt. So I just want to point that out. So to speed this process up and not have to manually go through all of those, if you type in t-shirt, sometimes that helps refine the process to where we're finding more merch t-shirts. It doesn't always work, but as you can see, instead of seeing the short sleeve shirts or the tank tops and everything else that they might categorize as shirt, you're seeing a lot more of these t-shirts. So you can try to hone in on just the merch shirts and find the keywords that other merch customers are using. Why I'm not clicking on these Disney ones is because they're trademarked. I don't even want to go down that road. So I'm trying to find the ones that I don't think are trademarked very quickly. And as you gather keywords, you will have to do your own trademark research on all that stuff. But I'm just trying to quickly show how I would pull Christmas themed keywords by looking at my possible competitors. So we did the first page. We got a few of these open. So the only keyword in theory that I have is Christmas.
Yes.
I am going to try to pull more Christmas type keywords so that, like the example of cat, I can have some keywords in my back pocket to throw at the Amazon search bar to have Amazon help me find customer paths, or at least somewhere that I want my shirt to show up. Santa, and I guess this is not maybe truly obvious to everybody, but the more you do this, you'll see the patterns. So it might take you 20 listings and looking through them to see the patterns. I'm going to skip ahead and assume most people know Christmas so that I don't have to fully explain, like, oh, you're going to open up 20 of these listings, find the keywords that are most used, and then make that assumption. We have a keyword tool. I'm going to go through just this and just pull out these words. If this becomes a problem, I will show more on this. But if Christmas is what you're going after, anything you're going after, you should have some knowledge of. You shouldn't just be going in blind. You just might need a little bit of help finding additional keywords. That's what this is going to show you. So we started with Christmas. Santa is another word. I'm just going to put it here as a lack of anywhere else to put it without having to like open a whole bunch of other screens. So we could say team, Santa. That's another niche word that's going to help us. Christmas, family, maybe possibly, but this is more of who is going to be looking for the shirt. Matching, pajama. Those are possibly additional keywords, but for right now, I'm just looking for Christmas type keywords. And maybe I'll do 2 and then I'll have you go through them and explain them. I'm not sure how I'll do this, but Merry Christmas, pajamas, Christmas, t-shirt, makes great gift. Gift is another good keyword, but it's not the keyword that we're truly after. Then they go into just explain all the people that might be looking for the shirt, because when people do searches, they might search Christmas shirt for men's or man Christmas shirt, or just these are just different keywords that customers might use, but they're not helping me with just Christmas type keywords. Night shirt, nightwear, sleepwear, not really going to help me. Party, special, holidays is a Christmas style keyword. I need a better terminology, but hopefully you can follow what I'm saying. Occasion, if somebody is not celebrating Christmas, they might say holiday occasion. So I'm going to also grab that keyword. Team Santa, winter. That's another possible Christmas niche keyword. Festive season. Just copy this so I don't have to scroll back and forth. Christmas, Xmas. Gift, girls, boys, youth. Christmas tree is the one that I pulled. And then we saw Eve down there. And then Merry Christmas. I'm actually going to pull this as a full keyword phrase, but it's not super necessary because we already have the word Christmas in here. And if I were to type in cat shirt and then just put Merry, I'm just looking for additional words to put into the search bar when I search. So far, so good?
Yes.
I'm going to actually pull these and put them on the screen to my right, so I still have them. But I just wanted to show people how I'm pulling those keywords. So now we have a list of keywords to target back when we're going after Christmas things after we pick a niche. Again, I'll skim through here. Cookies and baking are, I don't want to like prevent anybody from pulling keywords. The more keywords you pull, the easier the next step will be because you'll have more keywords in your back pocket. You don't want to pull so many though that it's like treacherous to go through it. As you pull the keywords and you start using them, like say we did cat and then we did cookie baking or baking, it's going to become apparent after we do it so many times with cat, dog, taco, pizza, whatever the most popular niches are that you're going to go after, and you type in cookie after all those. If they're not showing any results, that's a keyword that you can quickly get rid of because we'll see, hey, cookie is not a good keyword for us to use. Again, I'm jumping a little farther ahead, but I just want to show you. So before I just start saying don't pull this keyword or do pull this keyword, it's up to you to pull them or not. I'll pull it, I guess, just for understanding's sake. Gingerbread is another word that is more relevant to Christmas than just straight cookie. But as we do research, we'll let the research help us refine our list. Funny, cookie, baking, tester, captain, gingerbread, tester. This is hard to read because these people are just really keyword stuffing, which is...
Elf.
Ooh. On it, as I was complaining about how people are building listings. This is not how I would suggest building a listing because you want the customer to be able to read this and understand what you're selling. People that are doing this, you see that they're always dropping the price. I think it's because they don't fully understand how to have good sales copy. So to justify a higher price, if you have decent sales copy, people are very willing to see a shirt, read something that they understand, and pay the price that you're asking. If you are doing a horrible job at just keyword stuffing, you might have to drop your price because you see that you're not converting on your shirts. And a way to combat non-converting is to just drop prices. It's not a good strategy, but it's clear why these people are doing it because they just don't know how to build a listing. That's my rant. I'm over that. So elf, crew, bake stuff, watch movies, oh snap. Okay.
Christmas, do we have Christmas gift?
No, but gift, we'll pull gift.
Christmas and gift. I think we have gift though.
We didn't pull it. I skipped over it, but gift, chef baking. I'll make this bigger so that you can see it. I'll make it bigger on the next one.
See it.
Okay. Gone baking style, gingerbread tea. Okay. This one, we lost some of those keywords. What do we have? Elf, baking, cookie, gingerbread.
Yeah. Team. Gift.
Elf, baking, gingerbread, gift. What was the other one? Sorry.
I think that was it, right?
All right. I'm sure whatever we missed, we're going to be picking up here anyway. So
okay.
I'm going to let you go through this one, and then you tell me the keywords to pull, and we'll just add them to the list.
Okay. We don't have.
And you can look at their brand too. This is another place to look because this is helping with indexing is their brand and their title.
Okay. So Christmas pajama. I don't know if we have that.
I'll just add it to my list. So
funny Christmas is nothing that kind of sticks out.
Funny is a word that's. This is where I got to be careful of explaining this. Like what we're really trying to do is just the words that you think a Christmas customer might be typing in. Funny is very broad. Like almost anybody would use that. So you want to kind of refine your list when you start. So it's not just all the words. Because if you typed in funny by itself and typed in cat, it's going to take you down the wrong road. But it might be an additional word to refine how people might be searching if you type in funny Christmas shirt. So it's just that and gift, like those words that are used by almost everybody, you just have to be careful of using because it might lump you in with a lot of competitors.
I see. Okay. Christmas. I don't. We have holidays already.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. I don't see much on this one. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay.
And this is just like a starting place. As we like pick another niche and then start going down it, we can keep on looking for keywords, because there's going to be stuff like, I don't want to say any words because we're going to run into them, but there are words that we're going to be running into that are more beneficial than some of the words that we have currently.
Okay. So Yule, I think, is a word.
Now you sound like me. This is where Nathaniel makes fun of me. Oh, Yule is a word? Like, yeah, Yule is a word. It's a keyword. See below.
Do we have Santa Claus? I think we just have Santa.
We do not have Santa Claus.
I don't know if office party would be kind of too...
It's on
general.
The line, but it is like, when in doubt, just pull it out.
Okay. And then ugly sweater seems to be something that is Christmassy, but I think it will take us down the wrong path because it'll actually give us ugly sweaters.
Yeah, I will again pull it, but yes, you are starting to understand a little bit more of why I'm cautious to just pull everything. The same thing with like fireplace or chimney. These are possible words, but how many customers are going to be typing that word in? If they're looking for a design and chimney is in the design like this, they might, but I don't think it's that beneficial of a word to pull and attempt to do additional researches. And because we haven't done the process, like, it's hard for me to say, hey, what keywords do you think are good? As we do this process more, you'll start to understand, oh, customers are probably not going to use chimney unless it's the design chimney. That's not a word that I really want to put onto my list to help me start.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
This is maybe a little future thinking, but like, July will help the possible longevity of the shirt.
Because why so? What? Oh.
Christmas in July is a thing. So instead of just targeting Christmas, which comes in December, which is the trend in December, if you say Christmas in July, you might get a spike in Christmas for the keyword Christmas, and you might get a spike in July or the summertime because some people look for Christmas in July products. So this is maybe a next step thinking, and maybe not that important to start with, but as you get better at pulling keywords and understanding this process, I just want to point that out to say there are keywords in here that you can pull to help the longevity of some of these products.
Yeah, I didn't even know there was a such thing as Christmas in July. So,
because you live in the summertime all the time, so Christmas in July is a big trend, I guess.
Let's see, going down, I see reindeer. That might be something.
Yes, sir.
Blah, 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 blah. I don't see anything else. Snow, I think, is the other. Yep. I think that's...
Yes. I'm just going to, we can stop after this because I think we have a decent list to move forward. If you want, and you're having a hard time, opening up more listings and looking at the listings will help you. But I just want to, you were going to say something?
Yeah. I mean, a thing I noticed, and I don't know if that's something you would use, is when you scroll down to the sponsored results, they look like they have more merch shirts there too. So, or inspired by your trend. So if you're running out of listings, I don't know if that's something you would go use,
Yes.
Going back to that search result and hunting,
This is good. Why I will just point out, this is something that you can do. Why I like to just go to the Amazon search bar and look for Christmas shirt. My assumption is the people that are showing up on those pages when I do research have done a decent job at building listings. So the keywords that they're using are going to be more relevant than possibly these down here, because I'm not sure where these are showing up.
Okay.
But there are still options to go in here and look at keywords that you might be missing. Like, to pull additional keywords, there are a lot of options. I just wanted to start from, like, if you type in Christmas t-shirt, the ones that are showing up on that first page or second page are going to be easier for me to pull keywords that might be more relevant to Christmas. Does that make sense, or is that too abstract?
No. That makes sense. I mean,
yes, this is an option. If you are running out of any kind of niche that you're going after and you just like, I cannot find good keywords, going away from just like cat and shirt and then going and looking at the sponsored ads, the inspired your research, like all of this stuff is good information to look at to find
Do
additional keywords.
you grade sponsored products higher because most likely those merch customers have been in the game longer? Because new merch people.
Problem with current merch sponsored listings is they're bigger sellers that have like what they call pro accounts with thousands of
Oh,
options, and they just are banging out listings, and they're not doing a very good job at creating listings because the
I see.
quantity is more important than the quality
So
to
you
them.
would actually discount them instead of,
It, it, uh,
or you wouldn't care. You don't care.
yeah, it doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter in this stage of the game. I
Okay.
think because I have a very good understanding of the marketplace and the players in the space, I'm preemptively saying things to help speed up time. So you can look at sponsored ads, just be aware of the people that are running sponsored ads because not every merch account has the ability to run sponsored ads. It was something that was a invite only. A lot of people took the invite um, and are taking action on it. Most of the people that were aware of the invite are major sellers. So
I see.
most of the people running ads are bigger sellers. That doesn't mean that there aren't smaller competitors or newer accounts with it, but it's a unlikely situation that if you see a sponsored ad, it's somebody just starting out.
Okay.
So
We're
we
running
pulled
about
up.
12 o'clock, so I don't know if you want
Yeah,
to.
we'll go for a little longer. Because I just want to make a few more points, and then I do want to give you like some cross niche to go after.
Okay.
I just want to go through this and like talk about keywords a little bit more. So
Okay.
Christmas, Santa Claus, tree, Xmas, Merry Christmas, July. Listings like this are really good to see in the beginning because they're just keyword dumping a lot of Christmas type keywords. We actually pulled these from a lot of other listings, but if you do find something like this, don't be afraid to go, oh, all of these keywords are good. I want to start with these keywords and start going after them. Again, a lot of people are keyword stuffing. These are, I don't know. It is technically against what Amazon wants. It's not really against their terms of service, or if it is, they don't enforce it very much. I would not suggest this to newer sellers. You want to take the most relevant keywords and put them in your listing and create especially if you're starting out, more sales copy bullet points. I think it will help you convert more and justify you getting a much higher price. To each their own. That's just my way of thinking about this and how I am suggesting people to go after this. You might hear a lot of different schools of thoughts. That's why I am saying what I'm saying. So we can close out the rest of these. Now, at this point, you could use the list of keywords, and I'll just copy them and put them up here, to help you find a niche to go in and target. So if we just go, like we have Christmas shirt already, Santa is one. If we go Christmas shirt Santa, I'm doing this to help us find a possible niche to go after. So somebody else that might go cross niching is what I'm looking for. So this is going to be trademarked, but this is the idea. This person has mixed beer or alcohol with this Christmas Santa thing. Beer is another niche that we might possibly want to go after. I'm assuming this is a beer. Isn't that White Santa Claus a beer? I guess I don't
Hard
truly know.
seltzer? I don't know.
Irregardless, I'm seeing beer in this. This is an idea that I would have. So then I would add like beer t-shirt, see what comes up. And then just for cat, we would go Christmas. Wow. Having a hard time right now. Christmas beer shirt. So it said 10,000. Now it's saying 4,000. We're starting to avoid competition. This is what I'm looking for. So 2 cross niches to go after using the keywords that I'm gathering. 4,000 is still a little too many competitors. So now I want to go back to that list that I have and think about the customer. If a customer is coming here and I already have Christmas and beer shirt, I did tree for cats. which one of these words might help me refine this list? I don't know if I want to like have you start guessing at it and we just start doing that. I don't know if beer is really the one that you want to go after, but it might give you a starting place. We could use Santa.
Yeah, Santa or elf.
So we're seeing some possible design ideas. We put this in. Again, this might autocomplete. It might not autocomplete. If you switch up where you're putting Santa, it might autocomplete. Santa Christmas beer shirt. You could also take away Christmas and see, so Santa beer shirt. Finding the auto suggest is helpful, but it's not always needed. The fact that we put in Christmas beer t-shirt Santa, it's going to give us very similar results, and the keywords that we're going to use on our listing are going to be those anyway, so it's not super impact. You were asking me before about like the using the landing zone technique and finding the only place that those shirts are showing up. Aren't our shirts showing up other places? Or you were asking, it's not the only way that customers are going to find our shirt. And I said, yes, the customers search in many different ways. We just want to cover all our bases and have a place to target to start. So the fact that I moved around those keywords, it's still the basic designs that are coming here. Customers might just be looking for these very differently, but that's why we're gathering all these keywords to cover our bases. So if customers type in Christmas t-shirt, don't see what they're looking for, then go back up to the search bar after going through 7 pages of Christmas beer shirts, and then they go, Santa's really what I'm looking for. They're just going to put Santa at the end. Or they might just take away Christmas and put Santa beer shirt. But we don't know. But as long as we put all the keywords that we think customers might use into our listing, that's where we have the most success. That way we can get on all of these different results pages. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So the next thing is Santa beer. This is something that I would test. I'm seeing that auto-completed. Again, not the most necessary step, just a step to be aware of. Also, 436 is a lot less than 10,000. Again, not super necessary on all cases. We just want to attempt to avoid competition. If you go deeper in the pages at this point, you might see the results jump up. But as I showed in the very first step, even if it says 10,000 and we go past that 7 pages, you're only really seeing 300 anyway. So as long as there's 300 or less, this is the amount of competition we're going up against. And we're only really trying to compete on this first page. Can we show up on this first page? The fact that this has 6 million allows me to know if I sell once or twice and I'm targeting this specific results page, I should be able to outrank this person, because if a customer types this in, buys my shirt, I should, in theory, outrank this person. It's not a guarantee. It's just stating the fact of what you're attempting to do is outrank your competitors. If you're starting to sell, your sales rank will go lower, and you should, in theory, be able to bump off the competitors that have very high sales ranks, BSRs. And I guess I'm making an assumption that most people know what BSRs are. Bestseller ranks are. Should I explain that or just keep moving? I feel like I'm stepping on my toes every time I try to explain something.
I think you could. Well, I think it depends on your audience. Is your audience usually coming from Amazon, or do they just come from anywhere?
Well, I think most of these videos are going to go on YouTube, so I guess I shouldn't assume. BSR is bestseller rank. It's just a number that Amazon gives to products when they sell. It's a ongoing rank, so theoretically, whatever has the number 1 sales rank is selling the most. Whatever has number 2 is selling the second most. So I could say an assumption, this is selling more than this. Now, these ranks move a lot. So if you check this one today and it says a million, and you check it tomorrow and it says 100,000, or it says 10 million, these move around quite a bit. They don't move maybe that drastically. I can assume that this one has not sold in a long time and this one has sold more recently is really the assumption on that. But as we're looking at this page, I just want to see, do things have a BSR? And if they do have a BSR, that just tells me that people are buying on this page. So when we looked at cats and nothing had a BSR, I don't want to test there because no customers are buying there. Now this gives me a place to test. I would put 1 to 5 shirts targeting this Santa beer idea, and then check in a week, are my products coming up here? If they're not, I need to niche down, find a Goldilocks zone. This one's too competitive. I need to get away from the competition. or I'm actually selling here and I should be able to niche up and I'm really targeting for Christmas beer shirt. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I will give this to you. We can end here. I don't know if beer is really something that you want to go after, but we have a list of keywords to test from Christmas and a niche to theoretically go after, which is beer. If you want to do that, great. If you don't want to go after beer or alcoholic, you can do the same step that we did right before this, which was type in Christmas, another Christmas themed keyword, look down on the page and see if you can see some cross niching and then see if it's worth going after that other niche.
I'll probably do it the other. I'll probably pick something else.
Okay, no problem. I feel like I've gotten you to the point at least you can take action on and get 25 listings up theoretically. What you're looking for is something like this. Autocompletes or doesn't autocomplete, not a super necessary step. Theoretically, less than 1,000 is what you're kind of shooting for. Again, not the most necessary step, just something that you should be aware of. But something you really want to see are sales. If it does not have sales, don't test because you know the customers are not buying it. This is like the most important thing. You just want to see sales.
Okay.
And then to gather additional keywords, you can look at your competitors and do the same thing. What are these customers putting in? Oh, drinking. I only had beer. Drinking is a word. Drinking clause might be something that I want to go after. Sorry. And just looking at what they have in here. Drinking beer, apparel, ain't no laws because that's what's on the shirt. You will have to do your own trademark searches. I'm not going to cover that here. We have other videos on that. If you're curious, you can type in how to do trademark research. That's not really our specialty. My specialty is to help customers or help people that want to sell how to find keywords, how to use the keywords, and then how to actually make listings using that information. But there is a step.
Maybe you could add a link to one of your videos in the comments.
Good idea. We have that tangent test that Nathaniel did. That's kind of our go-to right now is tangent test just because it's so much easier to explain that we won't have to go into a deep dive of like, here's trademark here. That's not our specialty. If that is something that you're concerned about, do your due diligence, stay away from the gray, but take action, make listings. I will set a hypothetical homework for you for 25 listings. Find 5 things that you want to test and make 5 designs for those 5 results pages. And then we will come back next week. Maybe go over them, maybe not on camera, off camera. That's up to you. I don't want to put anything that you don't want out there. I will just continue on this idea of going, let's find a niche, let's find a cross niche, and here's some more cross niches to go after. So pick one niche. Don't go after a whole bunch of niches. If beer is not the one that you want to go after, just find one other one and go after that. And then I will next week show more ways to do that and how to pick up additional keywords.
Oh, so when you say 5, so one niche, 5 designs?
One niche, 5 possible targets that you want to target, like beer and Santa. So beer is the niche. Beer Santa is the possible one that you want to go after. It could have been Christmas beer shirt Santa. That's still just one results page to target to make 5 listings in there. Does that make sense? One niche, 5 results pages that you want to target. Each one that you want to target, make 5 shirts though. So 5, 10, 15, 25.
I see.
Make 25 designs in under one niche umbrella.
Okay. Are the bullet points going to be the same for all 25 designs?
Whatever, you can put bullets, you cannot put bullets. That is like a next step. Right now, just target them, make the title and the brands using the keywords that we've pulled, plus the keywords from like the competitors that you can see. Build a title and a brand that you think will help target that. As we do this more, I'll be able to explain that a lot more, but I don't want you to get bogged in. If you feel like you can understand enough to make the bullet points, make the bullet points. You've made listings in the past, so it shouldn't be that difficult. But if that is the thing that's going to stop you from making the listings, just completely drop it. Be like Disney. Just, we in here. Don't worry about my keywords.
Sounds good.